First one, though, very good save from Barkas, and he comes out and claims that. I'm telling you what, if there's anybody after this game that's still saying Barkas is shit, do you know what? Go and support Southampton, because we're not getting Foster back. We've got a new keeper and get behind him. He's class, and Duffy, you know. Do you know what I'm going to do? David? I'm going to act like that this is a video. So everybody here watching, wait, you're going to see the process behind it. We're going to just go over a wee...
Are we going to get the Ryan Moment intro?
The ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel.
And not just that, but the wee video thing you do after.
The wee that is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, we'll just jump right into it. Celtic 5, Ross 0. What a result for Celtic in a game which, you know, was very important for Neil Lennon. The 3-5-2, it was brought into fruition. And David, of course, I'll give some context to the people who are now watching on the channel and haven't been following along with the stream today. Big Dave, my good friend here, you were watching Rangers play Dundee United. I was the one, of course, watching Celtic play Ross County, and two very entertaining games, and two games that have really set the tone for the rest of the season. But Celtic today, they had to make a statement. This 3-5-2 that we've been waiting and begging for every single week from Neil Lennon was finally brought in. David, You've been the one, you've just been as vocal as me. You have been, I wouldn't say you've been dying to see it. You've been more on the fence of just sheer logic of like, why is it not happening? You know, why, like, from an outside point of perspective, it doesn't affect your life, but you just knew fine well, as did we, that had to be done. So your reaction initially, were you happy?
Well, listen, for someone who didn't watch the game, it's pretty telling that Celtic put two strikers up front, they scored 5 goals. Just like when they put two strikers on the park against Motherwell, they looked better than they had done all season long. They needed to do it, they've done it, they're getting the rewards. Ayeti, obviously still not fully fit, you know, brought off at about the hour mark. Klimala, though, came on, scored a goal, looked really sharp, probably could have had another one. The one piece of the puzzle, one piece of the puzzle I think that Celtic are missing is the left back slot, the left wing back slot. I think that's the one piece of the puzzle that's kind of missing in terms of the balance of the 3-5-2. Started with Forrest today. Celtic fans not happy with Forrest yet again. He seems to get a tough time all the time. Frimpong's built for that role. It's absolutely perfect for him on the right hand side.
I mean,
if we could have someone like him on the left, it'd be perfect.
I know we look at Frimpong being somebody who perhaps isn't defensively as strong as players like Abdel Ahmed and Nir Bito and Chris Farah, who can also drift out right on the right hand side because he is a smaller guy, but he's got the work ethic, and he's got the pace to his game to bomb up and down that side of the park easily. And that's why I would like Greg Taylor to get more chances on the left hand side. In that system today, it would have been really good to see Greg Taylor given that chance to play. And I know a lot of fans have got their opinions on Greg Taylor or against him, a lot for him. But if you're going to play this system, and if this is now going to become the regular under Neil Lennon, we need to play our regular, or who we believe is our regular option to get him fitted into that system. Greg Taylor, don't quite know what he's done to be dropped today. Maybe it's just down to fitness or whatever. I think it is a bit bizarre we're playing, you know, James Forrest in that position, considering he's a right winger. He's not even a defender. But you know what? We'll take it because we got the result. We got 5 goals, which brings me on nicely to the 3 things we've learned. If you want to fire off very quickly, David, just to go into comparison with me, I know you didn't watch the game. It's extremely hard for you to go along and say anything here, right? But from what you have heard and from my reaction today, if you want to pick in the space of 10, 15 seconds, 3 things that you think you picked up for Celtic today.
Well, probably the first thing I mentioned there about square pegs and round holes when it comes to the left wing back slot. That's probably the first thing that, you know, I know there's lots of talk about Celtic looking to sign a left back. There was a boy from PSG linked, as well as Zinchenko's been linked this week as well. So maybe that's the next priority for Celtic in the transfer market is getting someone to fill that role. Still a bit shaky at the back, and it tends to be transition. You mentioned it a lot. We got it a lot in the chat today. When they were losing the ball, you know, they weren't quite solid enough. Julian had a pretty shaky game. So
shaky.
for all that,
he's actually been very nice to him.
And I'll use this as a thing where, well, I think this one thing is too kind of Duffy being a really good acquisition. You saw that today. You were raving about him. Defensively solid, added a goal threat as well. But also the contrast, the performance between Julian and Duffy shows exactly why you got him in. You know, he is just naturally a more strong defender. So that would be number 2. And number 3, 3-5-2 equals goals. 2 strikers on the park, and they both score goals within the first 10 minutes. So, listen, that was the system that everyone's been crying out for Celtic to play. They've done it, and they reaped the rewards.
3-5-2, you said it perfectly. Julian, his performance today was just abysmal. I don't know what was in his head. He looked, you know, we always talk about that thing, and I said this during the stream. we always talk about how when he plays against a physical striker, he doesn't like it. He looks worried. He looks scared. He looks nervous. Today, he didn't really have a big physical presence against him. He was inviting players in to make him make these mistakes. He had so much time. He had so much space in certain situations. He had the ball at his feet, and he would stand and he'd wait, and the players would come to him. And this is like Ross Stewart running at him, and Billy Mackay. And then he's making mistakes from it because he's taking so long. He's so indecisive. So today, Julian has to look at that performance and go, what went wrong and how can I improve? Because he's got two great defenders either side of him. This shouldn't be happening. And he's got a goalkeeper behind him who he didn't look as though he had great communication with. And we'll come on to the goalkeeper because that's one of the things really. And I'm going to pose the question to you again, David, to get a quick reaction at you in the channel. Before I go into my three things with Liam, very quickly, I said it during the stream. I'm going to say it again now. Does Shane Duffy walk into the Premiership and already become the best defender in the league?
I don't know. So people are going to think I'm deflecting, but I think I can't give an honest enough opinion. I've not watched enough of him when he was at Brighton or for Ireland to say that. What I will say is that so far this season, defensively, Rangers have looked better than Celtic.
That's right. Because today we invited Ross County in. There was a big period of the game where they created more chances than us. And if you're giving those chances to perhaps a better team, if you're giving them to a Hibs, an Aberdeen, a Rangers, they've got to take those chances. They're going to score goals.
So I don't think I can one way or the other say if he's the best defender in the league. We will tell that by the end of the season. Probably you'd be able to give an accurate opinion on that. What I will say is he's a massive acquisition for Celtic, and he will make them better. So I mean that's all that's important right now for Celtic is that does he make them better? Yes, he does, and that's exactly what he's planning to do.
100%. Right, okay, three things with Liam. I'm going to try and fire through them very quickly because I'm sure David doesn't want to be sitting on my channel all day. How do you feel?
It's a pleasure to be here, mate. Pleasure to be here.
Great. And of
course, to TSF, yes, please.
Yep. As I was about to say, go and follow David on Twitter. The @ is on screen. And also go and subscribe to Talk Scottish Football. That's why we're here to entertain you every Saturday live and our podcast throughout the week. You know how it goes. You know the script. Just do it. First thing we've learned, Chris Commons, shut your hole. Podcast today, and do you know what? I'm putting it in at the start of the video. It's the intro. It's the intro to the video. I said it during the stream. Everybody who's going on about Barkas being rotten, Barkas not being good enough, Barkas looks shaky, blah, 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 because he's not Fraser Forster. I'm going to say it bluntly. I'm going to say it with all honesty. Get your... Oh, I don't want to get too explicit. Get it out of Fraser Forster's arse. That's what I'm saying. Right, he's gone. He doesn't play for us anymore. He didn't even want to come back. We've got to give this guy a chance. And do you know what? Today, I thought he looked incredible. There was one dodgy moment where Julian gave the ball back to him, and you'll all remember if you were watching the game, because I was pissing myself laughing. I don't know what happened. In a professional game of football, it should not be happening. Julian passes the ball. Barkas goes in his arse. Then when the ball goes back to Julian goes in his arse. And that communication looked weak between them. But throughout the game, Barkas made some top saves. And, you know, we're not going to... It's the same. David, you said it perfectly during the stream. People don't like Taylor. Well, some people don't like Taylor because he's not Kieran Tierney. He's not filling that role the same way as what Tierney did. He's not as good. Not yet, anyway. And he probably never will be because Kieran Tierney's a different breed. Barkas might not automatically be Fraser Forster, but God almighty, give him a chance. And it doesn't help when you get former players coming on gripping for relevance by saying things like that, like Chris Commons. I think he looked great today. I think he's not done anything wrong since stepping into a Celtic shirt. And I look forward to seeing him more moving forward. I like him. I like the big Greek man. I don't know your perception of it, David, but it's just my opinion.
It's similar with the Greg Taylor thing, is that there's such this emotional attachment to former players that they get better the longer they're away. Forster had an amazing season last year. Yeah, he was really, really, really good. And to replace him with that quality was always going to be tough. Barkas, there is no way you can look at Barkas' time at Celtic so far and conclusively say whether he's good enough for Celtic, because he's not had enough to do. He's not played enough games. Come the end of the season, it's the same with Duffy in terms of really the best defender in the league. We will know more as the games progress. So far, has he done anything to make anyone think that he's not good enough for Celtic? No, he's not. So, you know, give the guy a chance.
Very nicely said, Dave. Very nicely said. What else can I say? You know what? You could be a host on this channel someday. Just need to change your
region. Sure about that.
Second thing we learned, look, we've touched on it and I'm going to touch on it again. Duffy's what we need. Duffy's perfect. And he adds so much to the team, not just defensively, but going forward. He got a goal today. He's a goal threat in the air. And his leadership looked great. And you're looking at him, I know we've settled. We're never going to... We've got Scott Brown, for Pete's sake. Perhaps the greatest captain of the last 10 years in Scotland. in fact, is the best captain in the last 10 years. There's nobody near him. And you've got McGregor in there, who we've heard spoke so highly about. Kieran Tierney went open goal, spoke about how good a leader he is in the changing room. Duffy today, though, he looked commanding at the back. No nonsense. He was using his strength, his physicality. Yes, I think it took him a wee bit to get into the game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything was perfect. The sun doesn't shine out his arse. Of course, there was mistakes made at points. And I think
if you watch the stream, you'd think otherwise, though. He's
basically the second coming of Jesus, isn't he? But no, look, he's what we need. The way he used his physicality in situations, there was one right at the end of the game I really liked. Just shutting the player off, and players like Julian and Ayer make that look difficult, and it shouldn't be difficult. Guys their size, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, David, because if people watched us consistently, knew your opinions on Christopher Julian, they would know everything you have to say about him. But he makes such simple things defensively look hard. Duffy comes in, makes him look easy, made a goal-stopping clearance as well, a block. He's great. He brings so much experience to the team. And I do believe that he comes into this league potentially being one of the top players. I'm not going to say it straight away because we've got to see how he fits in. There's a long way to go. But he is up there. An international, a goal scorer, man of the match today. Everything he brings to the team was just gorgeous to watch. David, any comments?
On Shane Duffy? Well, apart from what I've already said, listen, I think him and Julian will complement each other well, and that Julian's, a lot of, this is an interesting thing, because when Duffy was rumoured and all this carry on, everyone thought, right, we're getting a big, strong defender, he's going to be an enforcer, he's going to win everything. But then I was listening to, I think it was Stephen Naismith who was talking about when he was with him at Everton, I think. Ball playing defender, he's just as good. So, if he's got that side to him, he'll be really well balanced. But him and Julian will complement each other well. And what Julian's good at is, bringing the ball out from the feet. He's got pace. And there's the phone.
Come on, Hod, what you're saying, Hod, what you're saying.
So right, we can edit this. He can edit this out of his video, but we're not editing it out.
I can edit that for a change. On you go.
I can't remember what I was saying, but Duffy will be a good signing for Celtic.
Nice.
I'm ready for the pub, son. What's happening here?
Julian will learn off him. You know what? I think Duffy will give confidence to Julian's game. We don't know if Ayer's going to remain at club. Quick opinion before we move on to the third and final thing. Do you think Ayer will leave Celtic?
No.
No? Okay, no. Fair enough. I like to hear it from an outsider. That gives me a confidence boost. And finally, the third thing we learned. Neil Lennon must have got his Nat King Cole last night. Jesus, or there's something in the snooze. What was it?
2 for 1 on snooze.
Oh, 2 for 1 on snooze. Oh my God. Starts the 3-5-2. You think your eyes are deceiving you. It's what we've been begging for.
Drops Christie.
He brings in Ismailia Soro, Patrick Klamara, Albion Ayeti, all these players getting time. What? Neil, you're on about, but the thing we learned, more importantly, that was more of a joke about him getting his Nat King Cole, of course. But what we learned, David said it perfectly, so there's not much I need to say. He said it right at the start. 3-5-2 equals goals, goals, goals. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Celtic's performance was perfect today. It wasn't. There was a lot of problems with Celtic's performance, especially late in the first half, early in the second half. Until we got our third goal, we looked unsure of ourselves. And after we got the second goal, between the second and third goal, basically, we just looked very, very weird, very worried. And we allowed Ross County a lot of domination. And if we give other teams those opportunities, they will score them. We looked like we couldn't deal with pressure, which is nonsense for a team at our level and the players that we've got. We should be able to deal with pressure from these teams. But with this 3-5-2, what was the main thing that happened today? We got 2 goals very early on in the game, and that is what we have struggled for as this season has went on, and we've made life difficult for ourselves. So 3-5-2, we have learned is the way forward. Neil, keep it going. That's exactly what we need to do. David, you look disinterested over there, son.
I'm just
You're on the phone. You deciding what you're having to drink tonight, eh?
Oh, I'm one of them in the fridge once we're done here, but hey.